What's the deal, y'all? Mr. Roll It Up here with another Blunt Talk episode. And in this episode, we're going to get into some serious ish. Now, as usual, before we do, and you guys can see, I would do a full on little intro and whatnot. You can see what we're about to jump into. But before we do, like this video, leave a comment down below after you watch this video or halfway through the video with your thoughts about the situation at hand, and subscribe to the channel so you can watch and stay up to date on my latest blunt talk and other cannabis related videos, included my music, like my debut single, Mr. Roll It Up, that I just dropped a few weeks ago. I will be releasing a video for that, something, nothing crazy, but I will be releasing a little video for that as well, so look out for that. But yeah, let's jump into this right now. Obviously, everything going on, I mean, our lives, the world has been influenced and has changed because of COVID-19, and yet there really still is so little to no mentions about this situation right here. This gentleman who happened to have been murdered, has happened to have been killed. Professor researcher researching COVID-19 was killed in an apparent murder suicide, officials say. This is on CNN, so it is a legit source. It is, factual. It's in a few other, articles or whatnot. And I guess, from I initially made a video on this on one of my other channels, and I thought, I'm gonna pull that video down from my other channel, and I'm gonna leave it on this channel because it's more aligned. This is something that I would just, I roll up and just talk about, look at a little bit, and that's that. The other channel is a little more serious, and not to say this isn't serious, and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, it's the other channel is supposed to be more entrepreneurial based, so it only makes sense because I see in a lot of the responses, a lot of the people that were engaging with that. I got a lot of good people that I can see that were sane, and then there's some people that are just like, I don't know if I want them necessarily following this channel and commenting all the time and stuff, if these are going to be the type of responses that I get. So we're going to kind of make not necessarily murders and stuff like that more frequent, but just anything that I just want to jump into and I just don't really care as much, I can roll up and just talk about. I'm going to do that here with my Blunt Talk series. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys are, if you're game, you're down, you want me to kind of read an article off, but also throw out my 2 cents, my opinion. That's what this channel is going to be about. So let's get into it. University of Pittsburgh professor Bing Liu was shot and killed in apparent murder-suicide, police said. A University of Pittsburgh professor on the verge of making a very significant findings researching COVID-19, according to the university, was shot and killed in an apparent murder-suicide over the weekend, police said. The research assistant professor, identified as Bing Liu, was found in his townhouse Saturday with gunshot wounds to the head, neck, torso, and extremities, according to the Rose Police Department. Investigators believe an unidentified second man who was found dead in his car shot and killed Liu in his home before returning to his car and taking his own life. Police believe the men knew each other, but say there is zero indication that they was targeting due to his Liu being Chinese. The university issued a statement saying it is deeply saddened by the tragic death of Bing Liu, a prolific researcher and admired colleague at Pittsburgh. The university extends our deepest sympathies. The university extends our deepest sympathies to Liu's family, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time. Bing was on the verge of making very significant findings towards understanding the cellular mechanisms that underlie SARS-CoV-2 infection and the cellular basis of the following complications. So they're going to continue his, they pledged to complete Liu's research in an effort to pay homage to his scientific excellence. So, rest in peace to this man for trying to come up with a cure vaccine that would help the world, help you and I get back to our regular lives and regular routine, and continue on our merry way and be able to go and see our loved ones and whatnot. Instead, he was murdered. And yet, there's still, to this day, this article came out. I mean, it's the 17th, and this article came out on the 6th. And there's still little to no news about this, no real updates about this as well, which is the weird thing. Very suspect, very suspicious, and it's one of those things that make you just say what's going on? And even when I do a little look right now on Google, we go to news, just look at all the articles, and when for one, you don't the only other major ones that I've really seen. I mean, you got a Washington Post here, you finally got a Newsweek here, but no other major large publications really that you're seeing here. You see it mentioned here, but it's as if this is part of some other bigger story, and it's like, no, we're just going to hide it, make something else the bigger part of the story. And that's really it. So very weird, very strange. It's like, okay, someone in control, someone who's in a position where they have an influence on the media, basically has a say with not wanting this to be mentioned, not wanting this to be covered and put out there. Why? And who? You know what I mean? It has to be. That's the only thing I can think and say. It's like, either someone, and that, yeah, that's what it really comes down to. But so the weird thing is, this came out, I mean, the date, they say it happened where he was found killed dead on Saturday. And this article came out on Wednesday the 6th. So that's at least. So Wednesday the 6th. I want to pull up a calendar for you guys. And I may have to blur it because it does have some personal stuff on here. I don't know why the stuff's on this one. This should be completely empty, but in any case, we are right here, and this is the 17th. This article came out on the 6th, which was almost 2 weeks ago. It was about a week and a half ago. But Bing Liu was killed 2 weeks ago in a day, because he was killed on Saturday, which was Saturday the 2nd. So he was killed on Saturday the 2nd, but the article didn't actually get released until Wednesday the 6th. So keep those dates in mind. So, I'm like, I made that video where I talk about what I just mentioned to you guys, and I'm like, I posted it and I get a ton of views. It's kind of pissed me off, because I got more views on something like that where I don't really, it's like this, I care about this, but it's like I don't really care about this in terms of me putting my energy into it, regarding strategically planning and writing and scripting, and okay, I'm going to create some content for people that I really want to make amazing, and I want to touch on all these points, and I want to be really helpful. Hold on. So really quickly, before I jump into this, just remember these dates. We're right here, the 17th. This article that I just read to you guys came out on the 6th, but Bing Liu didn't actually die until the 2nd. Wasn't actually killed until the 2nd. So the news didn't get out until really any article until that day, the 6th. And once it kind of came out here, then it was one or two other sources kind of then released it. But remember, he was killed on the 2nd. No news, no mention from anything really until the 6th. Today's the 17th. and still no major updates. We just that Google search. You don't really see no articles, no nothing new since that week, that day, pretty much. And it's really only one page, and not even a full page of things that popped up there. Maybe there are other things on other pages, but the fact is there should have been more stuff on that first page. So I'm just keeping it moving, doing what I do. I see a ton of people commenting on that video on my other page. And, like I said, I spend a lot of energy on some of these other videos. I should keep it on that other video, my other channel, but I'm not, because it would continue to drive traffic there. And that page I do care about more than this page, in the sense that it is, again, more entrepreneurial based. I love doing music and I love cannabis, but the foundation of everything I do is being kind of an entrepreneur, a renaissance man. So ultimately, me, wanting to pull that video down from that channel is like, that stinks, but whatever. It more aligns again with me being able to roll up and talk about whatever and keep it moving. And I need to get a drink in my sip of my drink. So I'm keeping it moving. People commenting on that other video, going crazy, getting more views than all these other videos I'm making. And I'm like, why aren't more people talking about this? This is so crazy. People are agreeing with me. Then all of a sudden I'm on Facebook and someone posts, it's a friend. He posts and he's like, yo, like, yeah, my people, like, making breakthroughs. And the second I saw him, like, once he mentioned breakthrough, it made me automatically think about this gentleman who they say was on the verge of a breakthrough. Where the initial article was, but I just remember it specifically saying breakthrough. And I'm like, obviously that right there, what I just highlighted, clearly doesn't say breakthrough. I know. But I just remember saying breakthrough, and I just remember thinking about, and maybe it was just like them, like his colleagues also, maybe it was that quote, but regardless, it was breakthrough, that word, that specifically, I was like, so when I read that Facebook post and it said that, I was like, oh snap. So let's read this article really quickly, because let's see. I mean, I don't know if there's any involvement, and that's the thing. This is where it'd be great, someone with any kind of real science was like my worst subject. You might think maybe English, because I can't really read. You might think writing, because my writing skill. No. Science was, I loved science because it was fun to just see the chemical reactions when you would mix, whatever together. But nah, we didn't mesh too well. But let's jump into this. Israel isolates virus antibody and significant breakthrough. So Israel has isolated a key virus antibody at its main biological research laboratory, the Israeli defense minister said on Monday, calling the step a significant breakthrough towards a possible treatment for the COVID-19 pandemic. So the monoclonal neutralizing antibody developed at the Israel Institute for Biological Research can neutralize the disease-causing virus inside carriers' bodies, defense minister had said in a statement. The statement added that Bennett visited the center up here, the Biological Research Center, on Monday, where he was briefed on a significant breakthrough in finding an antibody for the virus. I quoted Director Shaparia as saying that the antibody formula was being patented, after which an international manufacturer would be sought to mass produce it. The II or HBR has been the HBR or whatever that center is, BR, has been leading Israeli efforts to develop a treatment and vaccine for the virus, including the testing of blood from those who recovered from COVID-19, the respiratory disease caused by the virus. Antibodies in such samples, immune system proteins that are residues of successfully overcoming the virus, are widely seen as a key to developing a possible cure. The antibody reported as having been isolated at the IIBR is monoclonal. This word is killing me. It's monoclonal, meaning it was derived from a single recovered cell, and is thus potentially of more potent value in yielding a treatment. Elsewhere, there have been virus treatments developed from antibodies that are polyclonal, or derived from two or more cells of different ancestry. The magazine Science Direct reported in its May issue. Israeli was one of the first countries to close its borders and impose that. So I don't know if this is if this is anything remotely close to the breakthrough that the gentleman over here at University of Pittsburgh was onto. It might be completely different. They might be exactly the same thing. I have no idea. The only thing that I know that really caught my eye that I thought was interesting was that the date again of when this happened, when the article came out and when the other news broke out, was what I thought was interesting. So it's like no one really mentions, no major news of this came out until the 6th, but he had died on the 2nd, which again, if we look at the calendar, we see that the 2nd was over here on Saturday. He died on the 6th. Well, that other article with their breaking news, the article itself came out on May 4th. And right here it says Israeli has isolated a key virus antibody at its main biological research laboratory, the Israeli defense minister said on Monday. So I'm like, all right, if that's what they said on Monday. Okay, the statement added Benedict visited the BR on Monday, where he was briefed on significant breakthrough. And do we see any other dates in here? No. So the earliest date that we see in here, when all of a sudden, there's no other mention, there was no other news or anything about this breakthrough that they were onto. The earliest breakthrough that we hear about and that we find out happens, May 4th is Monday, which is the day he found out, the day he was briefed, the day he heard about it, is the day this article came out. 2 days after Bing Liu was murdered, and 2 days before any major news decided to write about Bing Liu being murdered. So that was the only thing that I thought was really this is kind of weird. This dude, if you were on this, if you were doing some major research, if you were just murdered in general, if there was any professor, I feel like, who was just murdered, I think there would be more attention to it, especially right now with the lockdown. You would think there would have been more attention drawn to it in the first place, where they were shot in the head, especially. 2, he was murdered, and he was doing major research and was on the verge of a breakthrough. And then 3, it doesn't, no major news, no articles, nothing really decides to come out about that until Wednesday the 6th. He died on the 2nd. That's 1. He died on the 2nd, so 1, 2, 3, 4 days after he was murdered. Whereas this breakthrough over here in Israel, they found on the 4th, they immediately found out about it. Or, when, I shouldn't say they, but when the defense minister was lectured and given his, presentation or whatever, he immediately put it out to the world that day, and we found out on the 4th. It's like, yeah, I don't know. it's things like that that are always like, And I remember when I put out that video talking about Bing Liu, and I was like, I wonder like where will be the first breakthrough? Like who's gonna be the one to come up with the cure? Like are they gonna like someone had commented on the other video as well? Some there were a ton of comments on the other video, and but one thing that it really just made me think about is like who is gonna be the person to come up with the actual vaccine, the cure, and I wonder if there could be any involvement with that person and Bing Liu being murdered. And not to say there's any I see any actual direct correlation or anything that would make me say like someone over here is involved. I don't see anything, but just the dates and the timing of everything and the fact that this came out um, you know right after he was murdered, but again 2 days before any major news or mention of the other uh, you know breakthrough that Bing Liu was onto, makes you kind of like yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, the situation in general over here is already very suspect, and it's already one of those scenarios where you're like, all right, why isn't, like I said, no mention, no, the fact that there's very little mention of it in the first place makes you got to scratch your head and make you very suspect. But um, for what he was doing, and like police did say, okay, there's zero indication that there was targeting due to him being Chinese. So, you know, some people in the other video were saying they think, it could have been because of all the, the race stuff going on. It certainly is a possibility. Um, and just because detectives say something doesn't mean that's not, an option. It's not possible. No, it certainly is. However, I would put more of my marbles in the fact that they're saying that, to me makes me kind of want to believe it, in the sense that, like, all right, this is a pretty big situation, a pretty big deal. It's probably not involved with his race and probably involved with the research and what he was on the verge of discovering. But what do you guys think? Like, I mean, do you think it was race related, or do you think it was because of what he was doing? Or could it have just been simply because, he had gotten paid? I mean, it was Friday. I mean, Saturday. Maybe he just got paid Friday or Saturday, and my man was out partying, doing deuce Friday night. I don't know who knows. It could have been anything like that. Maybe someone just saw him with money and was like, "Hey, this dude got some cash. Let me go, pop a few in him and grab his money and be on my way." I like I said, rest in peace to the man, and I don't know about his family and stuff. Like this, it's just weird that there's no mention about anything. His wife, remember someone talking about his wife, and um, I haven't again seen anything when we did that little Google search right here. This the oldest thing is like it's like a week right here. The newest thing I should say. So all right, we're gonna wrap it up there. I don't know, and there might be other breakthroughs. Like I haven't done like a big like let me do a big breakthrough research on this. I just wanted to make one other video on this topic, with kind of that like updated that like info, and kind of my thoughts there, because I was like, man, the dates very, very interesting, very interesting. When you look at when Bing was killed, when this article actually came out, and the date of the news, and the fact that it came out that day, it's like it was like almost as if they were like, we want to be the first to get it out there, like we're making some progress and found a real breakthrough, claim it before someone else did. Like maybe two people were in on it, or like maybe they and another government, maybe not. I don't know, maybe it's just the weed talking, and that is the point of blunt talk, because you can just come in here, do spark up. No one's gonna take what you're saying serious, because you just high, man. It's Friday, you ain't got no job, you ain't got nothing to do. Yeah. Nah, but real talk, like let me know what you guys think. Like leave a comment down below. Hopefully, maybe after I record this, I'll make a little like some things I can just splice in the middle or at the beginning, reminding you that hopefully you rolled up with me while I was rolling up and you enjoyed a nice little Slim Jim or Fatty Boom Batty, whatever. And yeah, a baddie. I did say the Fatty Boom Batty because that's the term that I heard it from in the movie, but Jay and Silent Bob, but just baddie alone. Yeah, you might not be familiar with it. I got some tutorial videos and whatnot, stuff to help you get familiar. I can't even say familiar. But all right, we're gonna keep it rolling. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below with your thoughts. And subscribe to the channel, like this video. I'm gonna be releasing some more content. The more I see that you guys want stuff like this or whatever it is you want, I'm just gonna kind of throw a few different things out there here and there, and whatever sticks is what I'm gonna kind of try to run with. I think the Blunt Talk series works because, again, we can just come in here, chill, kick it. Probably doing some live versions of it might be the way I will go eventually, because then it can just be more of a interactive and us connecting type of thing. I can actually know what people, what are your actual thoughts at the moment? What do you think? And I can respond right there, and we can actually get a conversation going. So, we just getting the ball rolling though. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. This situation is definitely crazy. Very weird that there's still very little, no media coverage on it to this day. And, rest in peace to this man. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep it rolling. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Roll it up, Mr. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it up, Mr. Roll it up, Mr. Roll it up. I wake up in the morning and I sip my teacup. I sit down at the table and I break my weed up. I roll up a blunt and then I kick my feet up. Go to